That's Radio Zindagi on 1550 A. रेडियो जिंदगी पर एज प्रॉमिस्ड एवरी ट्यूसडे अपने साथ लेकर आती हूँ डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया को. Dr. Saket Bhatia, who has a PhD in astrology and he is also a certified numerologist. Over 25 years of experience, and with that experience, he has helped around 12,000 people globally. He's also a board member of International Association of Vedic Astrology and Numerology. आप कर सकते हैं उनके साथ कनेक्ट और पूछ सकते हैं आपके मन में जो भी सवाल है, be it astrology, numerology or vastu related. The number to reach him directly is 408-639-5300, or just log on to the website to get all the information about him. The website is saketbhatia.com, and the number once again is 408-639-5300. थोड़ी देर में हम स्टूडियो लाइंस ओपन करेंगे. इफ यू हैव एनी क्विक क्वेश्चन, आप स्टूडियो लाइन पर भी कॉल कर सकते हैं. वीडियो कॉलिंग, बी रेडी विद योर डेट, टाइम एंड प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ. The number to studio line is 510-770-1550. Hello and welcome, Dr. Bhatia.
Good afternoon, Vedika. It's a nice, warm, sunny day. I said warm because we're sitting in the office, right?
Yeah,
But it's a
absolutely.
nice sunny day. It's not cloudy, it's not gloomy. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on air with us. And so today, a very interesting topic. We're going to be talking about Vastu and astrology.
Yes, we have to talk about this because, like I was telling you just before the show, right? Many people have been calling me, asking me, "Inka connection kya hai? And why is it that you can't do one without the other?" It's essentially it's like shopping for your clothes without knowing who you are, what your gender is, or what your body size is, what the outfit needs to be for office, home. How can we do that if we don't know anything about you? Same way, Vastu is really, really tied to your Kundali and to your home.
So a destiny is written in the star, but हमारा home decide करता है that how quickly we reach there. Is that true?
That is a very strong statement, and I think that is a fair and true statement. See, क्या होता है, Vastu and astrology were always thought of being separate. You treat astrologers as being somebody who reads your horoscope, predicts your future, tells you about your strengths and weakness. And when you think of a Vastu person, you always say, Arey, this person is going to come improve my house, tell me I have to make these changes to my property, I must do these remedies. But technically speaking, they're not never meant to be separate. Astrology tells us what energies are influencing our life. And Vastu tells us that energy, how is it flowing? Is it even flowing in your house or is it getting blocked? The planets push you forward, right? They tell you, ye karna hai, they'll push you forward. But if your home pulls you back, then you will feel like you're in a constant struggle. So today's topic is really about this powerful connection. Astrology or Vastu ka jo yog banta hai, and how a small shift, whether it is in the planet or in your house, will create a massive and big shift in your life. Remember, when you say Vastu, it cannot be done without your birth details. It needs that. You are living in that. A home in which you live is going to be very different than a home in which I live. If you and I even go rent an apartment today, it's very different the way we keep it. Do you agree?
Yes.
That is because we are human beings, but
Yes.
we adjust the
Different.
house to our needs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Same way, it is important to do Vastu with the person's Kundali. Remember that.
So as you described both of them, of course they stand pretty different from each other, but then why study them together?
They are subsets of each other. क्या होता है? Vastu is about better health for you. I think I'll explain this in a better way. They are inseparable. When you wear glasses, you have a left eye and a right eye. You have to use both the eyes to see properly, right? If you close one, you can't see properly.
Mm-hmm.
Same way, Vastu and astrology are like two lenses of a glass. एक के बगैर दूसरा incomplete है. When you come for an astrology reading and an astrologer says you're running Jupiter Dasha, it's great, you can go start a business, everything is working out fine, great. But now imagine you live in some place in a cave where no light comes to you, no brightness comes, you're not going to be able to move further faster in life. On the other hand, घर में clutter हो, you just don't feel like going home. That's not going to help you either, right? So astrology deals with planets, the force of the planet. We call it karmic influence. कि पिछले जन्म में क्या किया और अब क्या कर रहे हो. This is from the time you are born. Vastu, on the other hand, is the physical energy alignment. You can't see cell phone waves, but they exist, right? Right? Same way, the waves pass through your home. The placement of the rooms, the direction of your kitchen, bathroom, patio, etc., natural flow of all the elements. You see, by creating this harmony between your home and your kundli, you will be able to make these two things work in your favor. This transformation is going to be great. To answer your question, think of it this way. Astrology आपका blueprint है. We've said this on multiple shows. It is your blueprint the time you were born. It tells us हमारे strengths क्या हैं, हमारे weakness क्या हैं, correct? It tells us what we have to overcome in life. It tells us क्या challenges आएंगे. Vastu will tell us how smoothly those positive strengths or negative weaknesses will work in your life, in your day-to-day environment. For example, you may have a very strong Jupiter in your chart. Jupiter क्या है? Planet of luck, grace, wisdom, fortune. Correct? Very strong. But अगर आपके घर के north east corner में, which is the direction of Jupiter, is blocked, cluttered, or has things like a toilet out there, then the positive effect of Jupiter will get suppressed. I'm not saying get cancelled. I am saying it gets suppressed. तो उसका असर कम हो जाता है. You can come back and say, my Jupiter is so strong, exalted, but I'm not able to do that. And ever since I moved into this new place, it's growing better. Yes. Same way, you may have a very strong Mercury dasha running. Mercury represents the north zone in your house. अगर ये north zone ही disturbed है, or it is heavy or missing, then the amount of financial wealth, money flow, communication, clarity of thought will not function at their full potential. Now, Vedika, reverse is also true. Okay. Which means, अगर आपके कुंडली में planets weak हो, then we can adjust your home in order to make that zone stronger. So अगर आपकी कुंडली में, for example, moon is weak, northwest is direction for moon. So fixing the northwest corner of your house, northwest zone of your house will directly influence moon. That's why astrology and Vastu have to be applied in parallel. Results become faster, they become stronger, and in my opinion, they are more permanent than using just one alone as compared to the other. See, one of the most fascinating things I have observed in the last जितने भी साल से हम कर रहे हैं is how a planetary weakness always shows up as a vastu defect in your home. Always.
जी.
अगर आपका शनि वीक है या आपको ट्रबल कर रहा है आपकी कुंडली में, या आपकी शनि दशा चल रही है, महादशा है, या साढ़े सती चल रहा है, you will always find issues in the west direction of your home. Remember that. Saturn owns the west. You will find issues there. And घर में क्या होगा? You'll have quarrels, arguments in the west zone. You will have broken objects in the west home. You will have dark, heavy stuff put in the west zone. Same way, अगर आपके कुंडली में Mars challenge दे रहा है, you're not able to take action in your chart, go and look at the south direction of your house. Mars rules south. See what is happening there. Heat imbalance. Mars, is a hot planet, right? Heat imbalance, electrical disturbance, structural weakness, that kind of stuff. So I have noticed, जब किसी की दशा चल रही है and there is some problem, Vastu always plays a role. So to answer your question, they are not separate. They are your left and right hand. Both are needed together. Without one, you can still function, but you need to do both. The beauty of combining this astrology and Vastu is अगर आपका कोई planet weak है, तो we can make it strong by using Vastu. On the other hand, if Vastu is sort of, you buy a southwest facing house, southeast facing house, then we must look at your kundli and make sure that there is enough to do there. Astrology में remedies limited होती है ना. mantra, yantra, rituals, timing guidance, and gemstones. But Vastu will allow us to correct the physical environment with that energy stays. जब आप दोनों करोगे तो यू आर ओनली क्रिएटिंग एन एनवायरनमेंट ऑफ पॉजिटिविटी फॉर यू. आई एम बेट यू वेदिका, यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड दिस फ्रॉम समवन.
जी
हमने ये ना पुखराज बहुत साल पहना, कुछ हुआ नहीं. हमने ये
या
मंत्र इतने साल किए हैं लेकिन कुछ हो नहीं रहा.
जी
राइट, हम मंदिर में जाके हर संडे के दिन हमने दान दिया है लेकिन कुछ हो नहीं रहा. वाई कुछ हो नहीं रहा? वाई? Think about it this way. The problem is not that the planet is blocked. The problem is the planetary pathway in the home is blocked. The remedy doesn't fully activate when both
हम्म
of these things are not activated completely. So they are two sciences. They work together in harmony. They don't oppose each other. Opportunities will come at the right time. Relationships will stabilize at the right time. Finances will find more harmony. Health will improve naturally. With all of that, Vastu and astrology can be used in tandem to improve your life. Aapki destiny can move without resistance. That's what today's show is about, right?
जी
We are telling you कि a lot of what we are talking is almost always about the sky. But you are still living on the planet. You still live in your house. तो इनकी unity कीजिए. They don't work separately. Because when your home aligns with your chart, you don't just live in a house. You actually live in a supportive universe. Something is helping you grow. You know how many people have said, when you're working in an office, keep it clutter free. Your desk should be clutter free. It
जी
should literally be empty. Your cabinet should be organized. But why? Why do they say that? Because it processes your brain, right? That I have to compartmentalize my brain to organize things also. Nobody likes heap and dirt on their desk, on their table. So that's what Vastu is all about, and that's what your Kundali will tell you. Try balancing it out, try making sure things are clean.
perfect answer to that definitely and it definitely makes sense that जो दो चीजें इतनी related हैं और इतना मिल के impact करती हैं उनको साथ में ही पढ़ना चाहिए. So listeners, let me remind you once again, सुन रहे हैं Astrology Show with Dr. Saket Bhatia on Radio Zindagi. यहाँ पर you have an opportunity where you can call and connect with him on air right now. 510-770-1550. That's Studio Line's number. If you have any quick question, आप कॉल कर सकते हैं. The question could be related to astrology, numerology, or Vastu. And today we are exploring how Vastu and astrology together can transform not just your home but your entire life. तो very important topic and कोई भी question अगर show से related है या आप पूछना चाहते हैं beyond that, you can always give us a call. The number again is 510-770-1550. And if you want to reach out directly to Dr. Bhatia after the show, then the number would be 408-639-5300. And you can look for more details about him through his website, which is saketbhatia.com. But for a quick question, studio lines are open and you can give us a call. So now can you explain the directions of planets with respect to Vastu?
So again, I keep, sort of coming back to you because you have also experienced this. You've heard this also, right?
जी
लोगों ने आपको कहा है ना, what is the direction of your house? Northeast,
Yeah.
southwest. So people are defining homes with two things, numbers and compass points.
Hmm.
Right? हम मैप पे भी देखते हैं, there's coordinates, it's numbers. आपकी स्ट्रीट का नंबर होता है, राइट? यू ऑलवेज हैव समथिंग 1 2 4 5 सो एंड सो ड्राइव. आप इंडिया में भी रहते हो, वहां पर फ्लैट होगा, घर होगा, नंबर तो होता ही है. यू नेवर
जी
हैव अ हाउस विदाउट अ नंबर. दैट्स वेयर न्यूमरोलॉजी किक्स इन एंड सेज ओके, दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. बट वास्तु में क्या होता है, वी डोंट थिंक ऑफ अ हाउस एज अ कंपास पॉइंट. We think of it as a living field of energy which is ruled by a specific planet. देखिए, we need to take your house and we need to place it very carefully on a map. And then we need to put coordinates on it. पहली बात तो let's understand northeast, northwest होता क्या है. When you open the door of your house and look out, that is the direction of your house, not looking in. Many people will say, oh, I have a northeast facing house. They look inside. No, आप घर के अंदर खड़े रहो, open your door and see what direction it is. These directions act like windows through which a planet enters, circulates within your home and gives the result. अगर planet freely अंदर आके freely चला जाता है, that's considered good. If a planet is blocked, cannot come in, that is not considered good. On the other hand, if a planet's energy comes in and is unable to leave, it is also considered unhealthy, right? You need fresh flow. Think of it like a pond, water gaya, right? Now, when the direction is disturbed, weakened, or cluttered, or structurally damaged, then that planet becomes strained in your life. This imbalance shows up in your astrology as a delay. देखिए जब दशा होती है चीजें होंगी. मर्क्यूरी दशा है तो यू नो बिजनेस का चांस है. देन व्हाई इज इट कि ये जो 10 साल की दशा चल रही है 20 साल की उसमें बिजनेस लास्ट 15 साल में नहीं चला 5 साल में क्यों आया? बिकॉज ऑफ दैट डिले, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट silly little delay that of that planet. So that's why astrology vastu should be together, right? Let's
जी
explore ki kaun si directions hai. This will take some time. What I want to do is explain to listeners. आप अपनी कुंडली देखिए. Go on my website, make your chart. Look at what your planet is. Is it strong or is it weak? And then analyze it and see how it is getting impacted with vastu. Okay. First planet we'll talk about is sun. Sun is always ruled in east. Sun rises in east, right? East is the direction of sunrise. Sunrise से क्या होता है? हमें क्या होता है? Vitality, enlightenment and personal growth मिलती है. Sun is the king of the planetary system. अगर आपका घर east facing है या there is a zone of your house which is facing east, then this brings clarity of thought, clarity of life purpose, good health, good stamina, good confidence. ये डायरेक्शन खुला रखिए. This direction should be open, clean, and always natural sunlight should enter your house. Individuals who live like this generally have a better direction of life, better decision making, and improved well-being. Body structure अच्छा होता है, good constitution. Now, if this east is blocked, what happens? Sunlight नहीं आती. If it is cluttered, if there is dark colors there, heavy curtains there, it weakens the sun's qualities. Sun's job is also to purify the air in your house. And if you're blocking that, you're not going to be as healthy as you think they are. Generally, people who have blocked east experience low confidence, low immunity, lack of recognition, poor digestion, and disturbed sleep cycles. In astrology, a weak sun is also thought of as a disturbed east zone. याद है हम जब ईस्ट में बुरे प्लैनेट देखते हैं हम कहते हैं ये है. सो द रेमेडी इज नॉट गो वेयर अ रेड रूबी बट ऑल्सो इम्प्रूव द ईस्ट जोन ऑफ योर हाउस. बोथ हैव टू बी डन. ये सन की रेमेडी और ईस्ट की रेमेडी थी. दैट वे वी विल वॉक थ्रू एवरी जोन, राइट?
So improving the east, like it's not essentially breaking a wall or doing some changes in the structure, right?
No. Every house has to have some windows or something, right? Let's assume your house is a different facing house. At least east जहां से sun आता है, make sure that zone is open. Unfortunately, if you have bought a house जहां east पे इतने झाड़ हैं, पत्ते हैं, that there's no light coming, then that is a problem. Then there are other remedies. We can't break your house and reconstruct it. Then we start looking at your kundali and saying, okay, घर में ये problem है, तो आप अपनी कुंडली के through sun strong कीजिए. It is possible your sun is very strong and this will not impact you. On the other hand, your sun may be strong and this might be more detrimental to your health. My suggestion for everyone, east has to be very strong. Always. Very, very strong.
जी
अब हम बात करते हैं वेस्ट की. The exact opposite of sun is Saturn. West is run by Saturn, the planet of discipline, responsibility, stability, recuperation. बीमार हो तो रिकवर होते हैं. इसलिए हम कहते हैं जो बीमार आदमी है उन्हें हम ऑलवेज वेस्ट साइड पे डालते हैं घर में. A balanced west will bring structure, patience, financial stability and strong foundation. ये जगह ऐसी है जहां हैवी सामान आप रख सकते हो. You can put darker furniture here because Saturn represents heavy stuff. But डिस्टर्ब नहीं करना चाहिए ये जोन को. लाइक ब्रोकन आइटम्स, कचरा नहीं फेंकना चाहिए वहाँ. We don't want excessive darkness there because Saturn is the planet of career setbacks. He is the planet of depression, delays, unnecessary struggle. जो साढ़े सती में जा रहे हैं या जो शनि महादशा में है, they find west direction automatically becomes weak or unstable for them. This is not personal experience. This is experience from thousands of astrologers. Same thing. Those who are suffering from, weak Saturn or Sadesati or Shani Dasha suddenly start becoming, their west zone becomes weak. We see them not focusing on the western zone of the house at all. हम ये कहते हैं, try fixing it. It's a balance in your chart. It's a balance in your life. Next, we will move on to an important planet, Budh, Mercury. North direction is run by Mercury. What is Mercury? The planet of communication, finance, intellect, business, networking. If you are an entrepreneur, you work in finance field, you want to start your own business, or speech, life coaching is an important part of your business, then Mercury has got to be very strong. If you have children who are growing up, who are going to go to school, colleges, and you're worried about them, getting into better institutions, that north direction is important. A clean north zone creates financial flow, sharp thinking, strong communication skills. We always say children should be in the northern zone of the house. That is the zone of Mercury. That is the intelligent zone of them. It is one of the most important zones in a house. जब नॉर्थ हम ब्लॉक करते हैं, वहां पर अगर टॉयलेट हो, स्टोरेज हो, कुछ भी हो, it weakens your Mercury. It causes confusion. It causes losses in business. It causes financial instability, miscommunication, nervousness. Therefore, we say this zone requires immediate improvement. If you're suffering financial problems and you're still running Mercury Dasha, look at your northern zone of your house. Look at it carefully. Children need to be in the north, not in the south, not in the southwest or southeast. They have to be in northern zone of the house, not even east. That's where they should be. Next planet पे आते हैं, which is south. South is actually ruled by Mars, Mangal. South direction जो है, it is in a Kundali also. It is related to strength, courage, the ability to take action at the right time, and logic. Now, अगर यही आपने ब्लॉक कर दिया अपने घर में, it doesn't give you the confidence, the physical strength or motivation to even overcome obstacles. ये वही लोग होते हैं जो हो रहा है तो हो रहा है. I don't have a choice. A strong south energy will support your career growth by taking leadership and assertive roles. आप वो करोगे जो आपको करना चाहिए. अगर साउथ डिस्टर्ब हो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने यहाँ पर स्टोरेज डाल दिया, वाटर टैंक डाल दिया, लीकिंग आइटम्स डाल दी, देन मार्स बिकम्स एजिटेटेड, मीन्स इरिटेटेड. इससे क्या होता है? एंगर, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स, एक्सीडेंट्स, सर्जरीज, लीगल डिस्प्यूट्स. दिस इज व्हाट वी सी व्हेन द साउथ पार्ट ऑफ द हाउस इज disturbed. Correcting this zone is actually very easy. It causes emotional balance, health in relationships, and खुद का confidence भी बढ़ता है life में, right?
जी. So we got a caller and she was asking that her kid's room is in west side of the house and she just heard you mentioning that kids should always be placed north. So what changes could be done? Could the study table be oriented towards north because they can't move the rooms?
That would be highly advisable for them. Highly advisable. अगर west पे आपका घर है और the kids are sleeping in the west, it is recommended that at a bare minimum the kids spend more time in the north, sleep in the north, or have a study room in the north. It brings good mindset, good acumen, good speech, and you're getting the blessings of Mercury directly in your house. So that is advisable. If it is possible, do it.
Thank you so much. I really hope that the listener just got the answer. And if you want to know more about it, you can always reach out to Dr. Saket Bhatia directly. 408-639-5300 आप शो के बाद कॉल कर सकते हैं to get all the information or reach out through the website saketbhatia.com. And to all the listeners tuned in, सुन रहे हैं आप Astrology Show with Dr. Saket Bhatia. And if you also have any question, whatever we are talking about in the show or else beyond it as well, आप कॉल कीजिए. स्टूडियो लाइन नंबर है 510-770-1550. Again, the studio line number to reach Dr. Bhatia right now is 510-770-1550 if you have a quick question. And be ready with the date, time, and place of birth, be it astrology or Vastu or numerology related question. Ji, Dr. Bhatia.
So now we will move to what we believe, many Indians believe, is the most important zone in the Kundali, right? We'll move to Northeast zone.
Mm-hmm.
Northeast हमेशा कहते हैं best zone. I want a northeast facing house. People actually pay more for a northeast facing house. कभी कभी तो ये होता है, I have people who tell me, I want to buy this house just because it's not facing my house is south or west. I look at the कुंडली and say आपका Jupiter debilitated नहीं है, तो बहुत strong है, exalted है. It is so strong, by getting a northeast, you're not going to help yourself. You can obviously move to east, you can obviously move to north, you can move to west, but you necessarily don't need northeast. So northeast is considered most sacred direction in Vastu. Jupiter का direction है, the planet of luck, grace, wisdom, fortune, spirituality. उसका zone है. जब ये corner clean रखते हो, then natural light, mental clarity, guidance, spiritual growth, and abundance of wealth आती है. This is the ideal corner, not for you to sleep or for you to study, but for meditation, prayer room, and sacred spaces. People have this misconception, I want a northeast facing house. But this is exactly where your prayer room should be. This is where the meditation or sacred space should be. तो अगर आपका घर एक ऐसे जोन में है, let's say it is facing south, northeast में आप मंदिर बनाइए. That will help you. Why? Because you have to be facing northeast when you pray, not the idol facing northeast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jab northeast is damaged by toilet, kitchen, or heavy storage, clutter, then Jupiter's energy becomes naturally suppressed. What does that do? It leads to confusion, lack of guidance, obstacles in children's growth, delayed marriage, delayed education, delayed prosperity. I'm using the word delay. I'm not saying deny. आएगा, delay होके आएगा. If you have a weak Jupiter in your chart and your northeast is disturbed, it is going to be a major obstacle for you. Okay, major. This is doing Vastu is a lot easier than astrology remedies. It is more affordable. It is more cheaper, less time consuming, shows results in days as opposed to astrology remedies, which can take months to show remedies. So my suggestion, northeast, east and north को तो हमेशा खुला रखिए घर में. West is where you can dump a lot of stuff. And south पे, make sure there is no damaged wall or something, because Mars does not get sleepy, he gets irritated, agitated. Next planet.
Before that, we have a question from a caller. So the birth date is 29th November 1974, 2:20 a.m. and the place
29th November 1974,
yeah,
2:20 a.m. Okay.
Chennai is the birthplace.
Okay.
And the question is that he's trying to buy a home in Sacramento area. So will he be able to buy? And if yes, then when?
So will he be able to buy a house? If yes, or what's the question? If
yes, then when? Like, will it be sooner or later?
तो घर तो fourth house हो गया ना, right? And fourth house is run by Jupiter in this kundli. ये जो individual है, they are a Virgo ascendant. Virgo के लिए Jupiter owns two houses: marriage, business partnership, and property and happiness at home. Jupiter की ही दशा चल रही है with Mars. Okay. And Mars and Jupiter are not debilitated or not weak in this kundli. Jupiter, since it owns that house, और अब transit में Jupiter is also looking at that house, I can safely say a very good time for this individual to buy the house is now. Between now and May 15th, 2026. If that is not done, the next best bet will be Jupiter Rahu Dasha, but that will only cause him to buy a more expensive house. And if that happens, uske beech mein bhi you should carefully time it, because that dasha is from 2026 to 2029. Us dasha mein, if you're really interested in buying, then go buy towards January of 2027. Again, towards May of 27. So either buy now to May or wait till January of next year, till May of next year. Those are your two best times to buy. I'm
I hope,
leaning more towards now as opposed to later.
Ji, I hope he must be listening and got his answer. And if you have further questions, you know you can always reach out to Dr. Bhatia directly by calling 408-639-5300. And listeners, if you are tuned in and listening to the show, और अगर आपका भी कोई सवाल है तो अभी we have around 20 more minutes in the show. You can give us a call at 510-770-1550. And you can also write to Dr. Bhatia. info@saketbhatia.com is where you can write to him if you have any particular question. And उनकी वेबसाइट पे जाके आप अपना चार्ट क्रिएट कीजिए और उससे जुड़ा जो भी सवाल है डायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट कीजिए उन्हें. So we are talking about astrology and Vastu together, and we are talking about the directions of the planet with respect to Vastu. Ji, which is the next
That's
planet?
correct. So we've covered Jupiter, we've covered Mercury, we've covered Sun, we've covered Saturn, we covered Mars. Now we're coming to another important planet, Moon. Moon की direction होती है northwest. Moon क्या है? The planet of emotions, creativity, adapting, and intuition. अगर आपका northwest blocked हो, it brings disturbance to emotional stability, which will cause relationship problems, creativity issues, hinder travel opportunities, and will cause all sorts of uneasiness at home. We need you to fix this. यहाँ पर imbalance, emptiness और improper usage से problem होता है. Northwest zone Vedika of a house should not necessarily not be empty. Moon कभी अकेला नहीं रहता. वहाँ कुछ ना कुछ तो होना चाहिए. Okay, try putting something there. Not unstable, but usable. कुछ जाके put something which you can use in that thing. People who have a weak moon in their chart will even feel more intense entering this zone. There are people who will often say, yeah, we don't use this part of our house. हम वहाँ नहीं जाते. One-on-one, look at it carefully. Likely, person has a weak moon and that is the zone of weak moon. Fix it. It brings emotional clarity and improved family harmony. ये दो चीजें इनसे मिलती है and calmness of mind. इसके बाद बचे सिर्फ 3 planet है.
Ji, can we quickly take a call before that?
Sure.
Hello, you're on air with Dr. Bhatia.
या मुझे अपने बेटे के लिए पूछना है.
Sure.
His date of birth is October 30th, 1995. Place of birth is Vadodara, Gujarat, and time is 8:20 p.m.
8:20 p.m. And question?
क्वेश्चन ये है कि उसने अचानक अपना घर बेचने के लिए ही सेलिंग हिज हाउस विदाउट आस्किंग पेरेंट्स. ही इज अनमैरिड, सो हम नहीं चाहते कि घर सेल हो के. व्हाट इज द रीजन? वो घर सेल नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो हो जाएगा. आई जस्ट वांटेड टू सी.
No, you are asking me why is he selling the house?
या
Is this
like,
inherited
sir.
house or is it a house here?
It is here, and he's not married. He has a girlfriend, so I don't know what he decided. So he just put the house on market. So I wanted to know that what is the reason? He did not talk to us about this.
तो हम आपके सन की कुंडली देखते हैं. ही इज अ टॉरस असेंडेंट. ओके, वृषभ लगन है इनका और इनकी जो राशि है दैट हैपेंस टू बी कैप्रिकॉर्न व्हिच इज मकर राशि. अब दशा कौन सी चल रही है? राहु वीनस. हमने हमेशा शोज पे कहा है कि वीनस इज द प्लैनेट ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी, इट इज द प्लैनेट ऑफ वुमेन, इट इज द प्लैनेट ऑफ पार्टनरशिप. राहु और वीनस अपने आप से 2 घर दूर बैठे हैं विच रिप्रेजेंट्स मनी, एंड वीनस बैठा है रिलेशनशिप के घर में. द आंसर टू योर क्वेश्चन इज it is likely because he wants to move in with her in a different location. Rahu and Venus. Okay.
So, but
if he sell, yes, it is not a bad decision he's making. The decision ठीक है.
But you know how hard to get, like he's only 30 years old and he bought this house and very good interested, and also he wants to move. He can move, like he can rent it out or something. Like he did not even talk to us and all these things and
But
just put
it's
the house on
but
market.
Rahu, हमने शो पे भी कहा है, and Vedika has become the expert, so she will also confirm. For a
Mhm,
man, Rahu Venus dasha leads to marriage, and इसकी
mhm,
राहु Venus चल रही है, and राहु घर
mhm.
को देख रहा है, राहु एस्पेक्ट कर रहा है उसको, so it just makes total sense. He can sell, move on with her, and start his new life. That's what it is. That is the dasha. There's nothing wrong. In fact, अच्छी,
But this,
he'll get a better
but
deal
this
on the house.
better deal on the house. Okay, so you
He's
think that the house is going to sell?
I almost think certainly it will sell. Jupiter is घर पे transit में तो बिकना चाहिए. Okay,
Hmm?
it should sell.
It should sell.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Good luck.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you so much. If you have further questions, आप डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया को डायरेक्टली रीच आउट कर सकते हैं by calling 408-639-5300 or you can find the contact number through the website saketbhatia.com. So we were talking about planets, which is next in line.
Venus.
जी.
Southeast is run by Venus. You hear people ever tell you, Vedika, I'm buying a southeast facing house? No.
No.
Southeast is the direction of Venus. It is the planet of luxury, beauty, comfort, relationship, and creativity. If you're looking for any of these, the southeast direction of the house is considered the best for you. A healthy southeast will bring financial growth, happiness with partner, good food, good relationships, and material comfort. बट अगर ये डिस्टर्ब हो जाए, साउथ ईस्ट में अगर आपने टॉयलेट डाल दिया, वाटर एलिमेंट्स डाल दो, एनी वाटर एलिमेंट्स which is also like a tank of water or a pool, then you're making Venus very weak. This will lead to some conflicts in relationship, financial tensions, and especially if you have diabetes or any sugar related problems, they will actually increase in your life. This is another important zone. Couples who have marital issues, generally jab aate hain, I always tell them, what is your home address and tell me what is in this zone. That gives us a first hand improvement. At least it'll open a communication channel between two people. If you're looking for luxuries, you're looking for enjoying the finer things in life and fine living, then southeast is a direction you really must focus on. Venus. We think Rahu Ketu we can skip just because not many people ask about it. Many people focus on, should I make this planet strong or that one. Rahu Ketu is not generally thought of when we do Vastu, but just to let you know, Rahu is southwest. So we'll talk about that later. We don't need to.
Ji. So when we are talking about the planets and of course their directions, so what about the Kundali and the house alignment?
तो यही हम कह रहे हैं और यही बार बार बोलता हूँ. When people come to me for a consultation in astrology, right? They usually think I will look at the horoscope or I will only look at their home layout, depending on what they believe in. बहुत होते हैं. I believe in astrology. I'm not sure about Vastu. और हमने वास्तु किया लेकिन astrology का पता नहीं. But what you don't realize is they are two reflections of the same energy pattern. कुंडली दिखाती है कि आपके बर्थ पे प्लैनेट कहाँ थे एंड व्हाट इज दैट ब्लूप्रिंट व्हिच विल सेट द टोन ऑफ योर लाइफ. ये जो वास्तु है ये दिखाता है कि प्लैनेट की एनर्जी कैसी है राइट नाउ, नॉट व्हेन द टाइम यू वर बोर्न बट राइट नाउ. काफी लोग कहते हैं हमारी गज केसरी दशा आई थी कुछ हुआ नहीं, या हमारा हमसा योग है लेकिन कुछ हो नहीं रहा. Look carefully at that zone in your house. And again, it is not limited to house alone, it is also applicable to work where you work. Why do we say house? Because we spend more time there, right? 24 hours may say many people spend 8 hours in their house, 10 hours. But if you're working more than 10 hours, then quick check. Maybe work vastu is also equally important for you. So how is that planet functioning in your kundali? Dasha hai, mahadasha hai, kuch ho kyun nahi raha? Let's look at your vastu. Because the moment I see a weak planet in the chart, I almost know which part of the home has a defect or vice versa. जब हम वास्तु करते हैं स्टोर की, recently I did vastu for a fairly big Indian grocery store in the Bay Area, and a lot of it had to do with we are doing very well, we are making a lot of money, but our growth has stopped. वो stall हो गई है. You know, the rapid growth we had in the last 5 years, we're not seeing that much. तो अभी वास्तु करना है कि what is going on. Let's analyze the kundali of the store owner and let's see कि ये store की वास्तु क्या है and how we can do it. Let's talk about most talked planet in astrology. सबसे ज्यादा हम किसकी बात करते हैं एस्ट्रोलॉजी में? Saturn. शनि, always, हमेशा. So whether it is शनि दशा, शनि महादशा, साढ़े सती, anything, शनि तो delay, struggle, responsibility लाएगा. He has to bring it. Nobody is exempt. In astrology, अगर यही शनि weak हो या troubled हो, तो the individual experiences setbacks. What kind? Setback in career, burden in life, delays in financial gains, delay in having kids. जब मैं देखता हूँ कि somebody calls and says, I have been struggling, 2 साल हो गए जॉब नहीं मिला, 3 साल से जॉब नहीं मिला. First I do is I check what dasha they are running. Then I look at their Saturn, and then I always ask them, what is the west zone of your house? In almost every house, the west zone, जब मैंने देखा है, में कोई ना कोई issue है. Missing tiles, complete darkness, leaking walls, broken furniture. I see that all the time. All of this, which will suffocate the energy of Saturn. And since Saturn is a planet of discipline and structure, वो कह रहा है, इसे clean कीजिए, इसे declutter करो, make it bright and support it with metal elements. You will automatically start feeling better. Delays कम हो जाएंगे, mental clarity मिलेगी आपको. Work will start moving forward. That is what Vastu is about. जब इंडिया में घर बिकते हैं और यहाँ पर भी आई एम वर्किंग विद so many builders who call me and say, we are building properties, we're building homes, would you like to come and do Vastu? When we work with builders, the project lasts about 2.5 years, right? Land selection hota hai, kaun se road pe hota hai, and then we say this is the right direction of the house, and many times you can't change the direction of the house, right? Street to defined hai.
जी.
Then we start saying, okay, घर का अंदर का नक्शा कैसे होगा? The central zone, which we call Brahmsthan na, in Vastu, has to be open. That is where the energy has to freely flow from all the zones. You must have seen some modern houses that have patios, but the fencing of the patio is generally very low, not as high as it used to be. That in itself should tell you that we're using Vastu. Sometimes we see जो picket fences होते हैं, they used to be light colors. Sometimes we see dark colors. The reason, that zone of the house is red, Mars. Same connection with Mars and south direction. अगर आपके घर में accidents हो रहे हैं, झगड़े हैं, unnecessary surgeries हो रही हैं, then let's look carefully at what is happening to Mars. Mars Dasha, Mars Antar Dasha. So Kundali has to be studied, and Kundali is all about you, your strength, your weakness, your timing, everything. Vastu is, how do we improve that? How do we make sure you don't win a $5 lotto, but you win a $5 million lotto? That is
जी.
what Vastu is about.
जी.
Prosperity, gain. Right?
Before we move further, let's take a quick call.
Sure.
Hello, you're on air with Dr. Bhatia. Thank you so much for holding.
Yeah. Sir, this is Abhijit. My date of birth is March 28, 1982. And the birthplace is Maharashtra, Nanded. And the birth timing is 30, near about 10:30 p.m.
10:30 p.m. Okay. And aapka question?
I'm a software engineer and I'm working in a software company. And we are working for a client project. And I'm looking the job offer directly from client. So is there any chances, like I'm talking with client, so they are saying it will take some time because right now freeze is going on for hiring, but once it is lift, then they will give me the offer. But is there any, with my Kundali, is there any early chances to get that offer?
Career growth के लिए हम देखते हैं 10th house and 6th house. Your 6th house has moon. which says, okay, you have your mindset stuck at work, which is a good thing, अच्छी बात है. लेकिन आपका जो 10th हाउस है ना, उस पे अभी
Hmm?
केतु चल रहा है.
Yes,
That is a
right.
problem. वो 10th हाउस पे जो केतु ट्रांजिट होता है इज जनरली नॉट कंसिडर्ड गुड बिकॉज इस कुंडली में केतु इज वेरी स्ट्रांग. ही इज इन मूल त्रिकोण. मूल त्रिकोण केतु इज इंडिकेटिंग I will give you that delay that you need and I will detach you from your job. My advice to you is I don't think anything positive is likely to happen. Jupiter Shani Jasha जो चल रही है वो 12 घर दूर है and 12 generally will represent some sort of loss. My recommendation, अब कोई positive aspect नहीं है. Don't do it. Wait.
Mhm.
Anytime after June is considered favorable and better. जून के बाद जाइए. Try getting a job from
Okay.
your client after June. If you don't get after June, then November तक तो मिल जाना चाहिए. There is no secondary reason why you should not get it. Okay.
Okay. And in case they offer me job early, I can move, right? There is no issue.
I don't
I
think they
can.
will offer you. Even if they offer you,
Oh,
there will be tremendous amount of stress coming your way. So think carefully. I always tell people, think very
oh,
carefully when you're moving. You don't want to risk a stable job for an unstable job. My recommendation, don't do it. Another better job will come your way in May of next year. Okay?
May of next year, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we are just left with last few minutes in the show. So we might take one more call, but let's continue with our topic. So at the end, I would like to know if there are any like real life examples or stories you would like to share with our listeners.
काफ़ी हैं, काफ़ी लिखी थी, सोचा था बात करेंगे.
जी.
So the first is Bay Area का ही. Person listens to my show all the time, named Rohan. 29-year-old, 39 actually, IT professional. 2 years, he's had zero growth. No promotions, no interviews, no recognition from managers, repeated rejections in interviews. जब हमने कुंडली देखी तो देखा था कि शनि बहुत वीक है. And he was also running शनि महादशा. That immediately told me first, आपके घर का वेस्ट जोन क्या है? What is happening in the west zone? We did a वास्तु और देखा कि जो घर का वेस्ट जोन है वहाँ क्या पड़ा था? Old broken electronics, video games, purani TV, unused furniture, and lots of paperwork. Old files नहीं होती, वो पड़ी थी. The tweak was very easy. शनि की दशा थी. Let's try Mahadasha. We cannot make Shani strong in his kundli, so let's try figuring out Vastu wise. And we had to improve two zones in the house. One was the north zone for Mercury, and the second was the west zone for Saturn. हमने 60% clutter किया and we added what we called a Vastu metal energy pyramid इस घर में. Okay, what is the result? We introduced Shani colors. Shani के जो colors नहीं होते, black color and stuff. Result? 73 days में he had an interview from a company which he's been trying for over a year. We call
Wow.
them the FANG companies, right? The big companies. They gave him an offer. He joined within a month. New job, gave him a significant salary bump. Astrology mein, when you switch jobs, people always ask me, should I switch? The answer is, if you switch, what should you switch for? More responsibility, more money, or better title? This is what we look at very carefully in the Kundali. So this was one real life example. I could give you more examples of couples who've been married and arguing nonstop for 8 years. Not arguing big, but small arguments. They turn into emotional explosion. First zone, Venus, happiness has to be afflicted. Second, Mars has to be afflicted. ये दोनों fix करने के बाद, it actually helped them a lot. It made them calmer. It made both partners cooperate more rather than react. See, ये जो कुंडली होती है ये एक पैटर्न दिखाती है और जो वास्तु है वो उसे एम्पलीफाई करता है. So why don't you correct it and put it back so it brings more harmony? Many listeners out there don't still understand the true power of Vastu. Vastu can never be done without your Kundali. It needs that. When you call a Vastu expert, make sure that you are aware you are the living entity in that house. You are the person that wears the clothes. They must suit you and you must suit the clothes. Same way, do Vastu and figure out how to improve your life. I think we're almost out of time, right?
Yeah, we just have 30 more seconds.
30 more seconds में हम यही कह सकते हैं कि the only thing I can say is जैसे astrology में remedies है, वास्तु में remedies होती हैं. Very often we have salt water bowls, we have copper pyramids, we have metal objects, brass items, diye, we even have, wreaths that we put on the doors, bells, mantra, har ek cheez hoti hai. They are unified sciences. They help you improve your life. And quite frankly, like Vedika said, planets decide your destiny, home decides the speed. But when both are joined together, miracles can happen. Okay.
Absolutely amazing note with which you have ended today's show. Thank you so much for joining us on air, and thank you for clarifying this big question I think was in everybody's mind. And I'm certain people might have got the answer to that question. And if you have further questions, you can always reach out to Dr. Bhatia. SaketBhatia.com is the website, which is the best source for all the information. You'll get the contact information as well there. So do visit the website, do get in touch with Dr. Bhatia and get your questions answered. Thanks again. We'll talk to you again next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.
And listeners, aap kahin mat jaiye. Coming up next is RJ Swati with Cruise Control.
You are listening to Radio Zindagi. Easy